I may give an OM3 translation. I will not speak in moderation about this election. I will not act as if there's nothing at stake. My conscience will not allow me to be quiet. My heart compels me to speak, and my faith in Christ demands that I open my mouth. And as a black man who believes in Jesus Christ, black people have been saving this nation ever since when we arrived upon these shores. We're tired of saving America. It is now time for someone to also speak, and not just us. We have offered a moral vision and imagination to a nation that excluded, demeaned, and undermined our very humanity. Yet we keep offering hope in a nation, whether it is abolition, women's suffrage, unionization, civil rights, or anti-mass incarceration. And so I speak to the church collectively. I'm not talking just churches of people of African descent. I'm talking about other churches. You have a responsibility to speak. And Isaiah says it right here. While you are focused on one or two issues, Isaiah is saying, what do you do for the poor? What are you doing for those who are brokenhearted? What will you speak up for the homeless? Will you speak for children who have to lay their heads upon concrete at night? The church is called to speak the good news to the poor. The church must regain her voice. But not only must the collective church must regain her voice, the black church must regain her voice. Our voice is unique. The black church tradition I speak of, I'm not talking about just black churches, churches that have black people. I'm talking about the black church tradition. There are some churches that just have black people in them, but they're not from the black church tradition. The black church tradition is a part of what Howard Thurman says, Jesus and the disinherited. That we, those who've had their backs against the walls, we have a tradition of decolonizing Christianity. That our Christianity is not ecclesiastical garments simply wrapped around our soul and our body, but we are operating out of a tradition that expands the possibilities of humans flourishing for all human beings. The church must regain its voice. And I have been disturbed when I see popping up every once in a while on YouTube people who are making claims and saying things that are preachers from the pulpit hurting and harming people as they take hold of the mic. The black church tradition has been a tradition that allows human flourishing and moral imagination. And that is a tradition, and that is why I am so delighted to be a part of Trinity United Church of Christ. A liberation tradition, a tradition that believes in human suffering, a tradition that even decolonizes the Christian framework for those who think that Christianity started somewhere in Norway.
I've got to share with you about puppet masters that are controlling the puppet. Puppet masters that are controlling the puppet. Let me begin by sharing this information today. There's a person you have never heard of who may be one of the most influential thinkers in the right-wing and white nationalist space in this country. His name is Curtis Yarvin. Let me say it again, Curtis Yarvin. He founded the anti-egalitarian and the anti-democratic movement known as the Dark Enlightenment or neo-reactionary movement. This movement believes democracy is a failed experiment and must be replaced by a monarchy or a dictatorship. The way to reach this goal is through Silicon Valley. Silicon Valley venture capitalists who will use their money to sway public opinion and miseducate the masses masses through social media and collecting our data. One of Curtis Yarvin's disciples is a person by the name of Peter Thiel. Peter Thiel, I'm not sure the pronunciation, is a South African, or an Afrikaner, just like Elon Musk, who founded PayPal. Peter Thiel funded the political rise of J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance has publicly stated that Curtis Yarvin is his intellectual mentor. Now, Curtis Yarvin says in order to destroy democracy, they have a program called RAGE. RAGE, R-A-G-E, RAGE. And this program means retire all government employee. RAGE, Project 25, RAGE, and now Doge is doing the work of Curtis Yarvin. Curtis Yarvin believes some races are fit for servitude. Blacks have a natural lower IQ, and civil rights was applied to a population of recent hunter-gatherer ancestry, and no great moral fiber. As a result, civil rights in America created absolute garbage. The architect of Trump's presidency, Steve Bannon, is an admirer of his work, and a collection of Silicon Valley billionaire bros adhere to his philosophy. How do we push back? Number one, we've got to be educated about what is happening. Number two, we have to be deliberate with our dollars. There's no reason we should be supporting any business that plays in our face. Support local, support black businesses. Number three, support black institutions that believe in liberation. Whether it is your church, HBCU, whether it is an activist organization, unions, independent press, fraternities, sororities, all of these organizations we have to support, and we have to raise our voice. And finally, you've got to be the most engaged voter, politically astute, not miseducated, but educated. They are coming after us. RAGE, retiring all government employee, dismantling the Department of Education. We are in the midst of a hostile takeover in America. But let me give you one thing. All of this research I have been doing, I found out that their greatest fear is black people when they're organized. From 1971 to today, we have the power, and we are connected to an all-powerful God. In the words of Sean Connery, from the Untouchables, there endeth the lesson, and that's my 5 minutes. Peace.